Well, some people who don't like reality try to escape it altogether, living in their own world. Sometimes, quite literally, as our reporter Chiodura found out. She travelled to Italy and spent time in a tiny village where the 300-odd residents are breaking the mould and living by their own rules.
This place has its very own prince and princess, its own currency, even its own coat of arms. Basically, almost everything a country needs. To my surprise, this village even declared independence decades ago.
But this here is not really a country.
Or have you heard of the country of Seborga? I went there to find out why they so desperately want to be a separate state.
Here I'm still in Italy, and if I walk across this here, now I'm not in Italy anymore. Well, at least according to the Seborghini. And if you go a bit further, you even see a deserted little guardhouse.
Seborga is a tiny village in western Italy, close to the French border. It's roughly 14 square kilometers in size and has a population of around 300. Seborga's curious history goes back centuries to when it was said to be an independent principality. In the 18th century, it was sold to what would become Italy, but in the 1960s, a villager found documents allegedly proving that the sale was invalid. His conclusion: Seborga was not part of Italy. The villagers agreed, and soon thereafter, they declared independence. The Seborghini even have their own currency, the Luigino, which can be used in select stores in the wannabe country. The villagers show me their Seborgan IDs with pride. And the tiny village even has their own guard that parades on special occasions. The Seborghini elected their prince, Marcello I, an Italian businessman, and his wife. His Highness and the villagers take their independence very seriously.
We want to be independent because it's our right. Maybe you too, thinks that Seborga is a dream, fairy tales, yeah? But it's not a fairy tale.
Seborga also has economic reasons for wanting to be independent. Most of the people here live from the agriculture around the village. Seborga only has a handful of shops, and tourists are not exactly flooding the tiny village today. Many villagers hope that independence could bring lower taxes and attract investors, as well as much-needed visitors. The princess is a German native.
Being independent would be amazing. We could decide everything for ourselves. Everyone knows Italy's not in the best shape right now. I think independence would help the region. We could create jobs.
From independence of Seborga, we expect a better life. Because when you are little and independent, you can also give the best of you. Because you can do what the people need, not what Europe needs.
So, a little village wanting to be a country. That's a good selling point to tourists. It makes this sleepy village in the mountains unique. They definitely have their corporate identity down. Their blue and white flags are everywhere. The same goes for pictures of the monarch.
I even have a portrait of his in my bed and breakfast.
But becoming independent, as Spain's Catalonia has shown, is far more complicated than just wanting to be a country. Theoretically, Seborga has everything it needs to be a country. That's a marked territory, a permanent population, and a governing power. But what they don't want to hear...
The problem is that nobody else thinks they are one, and that is crucial to being a country.
And least of all, its mother state, Italy.
Not to mention, actually becoming independent could bring a host of problems with it.
The Luigino is no real substitute for the euro. Negotiating deals with the EU can be excruciatingly difficult, as Brexit shows. And of course, the village would still be entirely dependent on Italy for its economy.
maybe it's good that way. I think for Seborga, it's better to be known as wanting to be a country than facing the harsh economic realities of actually being one.
Because the story attracts attention, and media like me. Everybody likes underdogs. And after all,
some wishes are better if they don't come true, right?
Well, you saw her there in her report. Now Kyo Dura joins me in the studio. Kyo, a fascinating place, but how did you find out about it? Because it's tiny, right?
Exactly. Well, I've always been really interested in those tiny wannabe nations, micronations as they're called. And there are a lot of other ones as well, like there's Sealand in the UK, that's an oil rig. Former oil rig that wants to be a country, stuff like that. But I think Seborga is one of those that actually have most legitimacy in a way. They have like 300 people living there, everything. So that's why I came across it. Just Googled micronations and then looked for the best one, basically.
Let's be honest, there's a fine line between craziness and genius. Where do the residents stand on that scale?
I think they're quite ingenious, to be honest. They're a little bit crazy as well, but they're using the craziness as a good selling point. So I think as an origin story, they really do believe that they could be their own country. But actually now it's a lot of marketing, I think. And that's really good because there are a lot of villages that are like this village, but nobody goes to them, you know?
Right, so crazy good, and I understand that now you are one of the honorary residents.
Exactly, yes. I have a little passport.
Wow.
Yes, the souvenir shop owner actually gave it to me, but you can actually also buy it for €2.50 if you want to. But I got it for free, so hey, yay me.
Yay for you. Do you have to pay taxes?
No.
Okay.
As an honorary citizen, yes, I'm exempt from that.
All right. On a more serious note, though, I mean, could we say that this place is emblematic of a separatist movement that we've seen around the world in various places?
I've seen a lot of the traits that, for example, Catalonia shows, I must say, like those kind of overly positive way of thinking, that they think that, oh yeah, if we're alone, everything's totally fine and it's going to be much better. I think, you know, the UK thought that as well. And they don't really see the negative consequences, I think, and that was very similar, yes.
Our reporter Kyo Dura delving deep into the crazy for us. Thank you very much.